Hurricanes, still bringing us the content, still bringing the fans a continuation of momentum and love. Let them know that they're out here. They replayed the Calgary game last night where Svetch did the infamous Svetch move.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the first one or the second one? It was
Calgary was the first one.
It was the first one on Riddick,
Second
right?
one was Winnipeg, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't. I knew it was Winnipeg. I just couldn't remember the order.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Riddick was the first victim.
Yeah.
Calgary goaltender. So fans were showing some love again for that for sure. Also yesterday too, I don't have this written down, but yesterday also was the anniversary of the Canes making the playoffs.
Oh, sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so shouts out that. They were playing, you saw on Twitter, the fucking Peter bench interview, screaming, we in, all that happy stuff.
Yeah.
Fans in the stadium, in the stands there, giving each other big hugs. First time the team made the playoffs in fucking, what was it, 09 or whatever. So,
years.
Yeah, it was huge. Absolutely huge. So shouts out every bit of that. Also, too, just like the league has been having these Zoom calls like we're on, with different players from different teams, different captains, usually the same division getting together and kind of chopping it up. I saw one of the most entertaining ones I've seen thus far, and it was with Martin, Brock McGinn, Jake Gardner, and Tripp Tracy, all of the Carolina Hurricanes. Really, really entertaining phone call for sure. They all got on there and talked, chopped it up a bit. The biggest highlight for me was Gardner was kind of like a punching bag the whole time. They were just kind of giving him shit for everything. Yeah. They talked about where there was a Miami trip, and basically it was a sort of man's man venture where only you had more or less an application process of who can come on this trip, who can hang, who can't hang. They were kind of putting in question whether or not Gards could be a part of that group and stuff. So it was all good fun. What other stuff was going on with that too? The whole stint where Marty was giving Tripp the big snow showers during warmups. They talked about that whole routine and how that went on for so many games, and just the whole process of getting in a routine. And after a while, Tripp would start putting the goalie mask and covering his face up. It's good shit.
Yeah.
It's great shit. They talked about how at one point during the season, Tripp he colored his hair because I guess his mom told him he might have needed to. And it got like really, really light. So Brock saw him and was like, holy crap, I got a brother out here, dude. Jesus. So really, really good shit. Just giving each other a hard time. You got to love that stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And Tripp's such a huge part of that, too, making the players feel – getting that buddy-buddy relationship and kind of allowing himself to be the butt of the joke, too, to make everyone comfortable. So
he's jacked,
Tripp.
by the way.
Tripp?
Yeah.
Oh,
never noticed. He's so, compared to Forsland in stature.
Yeah.
Forsland's such a tall, looming guy, and you only see him in the suits usually. He's got some big forearms on him. Tripp's
dude, I remember it was some like in between period thing. I forget what the thing they were doing was, but in the video, Tripp jumped into a swimming pool and he was like in his trunks and everything, shirt off. Bro, he's like all the way jacked. He's got like an 8-pack, like traps for days, son. Yeah. He's killing it. So
speaking of, and he's a former goaltender, right?
Yep.
And it's not, most commonplace. Goaltenders are super athletic, but they're not the guys hitting every single piece of gym equipment. They're not they're not always going to be the most toned guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about how, and I can't remember if it was, I think it was post Capitals elimination, and they were headed up to Long Island. And on that plane flight, there was a bunch of potato chips on board, I guess. And Peter made a comment to Tripp and told him to keep it light as far as like, don't overdo it on the snacks. And Tripp was basically like, dude, I don't even know how your body made it to the NHL. Like, you have a body that should not be in this league.
That's good.
Giving him no breaks, dude.
That's really good.
I like that technique. That was good. That was good. Right into the yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you gotta do that.
Cough, whatever you want
it sounded disgusting, but
it did not sound good. Yeah, that was rough on audio.
Yeah.
That's why I was into
it. Another good bit too. I love this. They were talking about blocking shots, and Gardner being the only defenseman on the call, he was the guy like, no, yeah, it's the goaltender's job. And they were giving Tripp was giving him props for the David Ayers game and how they just came together as a defensive unit. And, we're just lying in front of the net. And Gardner even made a comment like, you're gonna say like we're blocking shots. Like he's like, I think the last time I blocked a shot, it went off of me and onto someone else's stick and they scored. Like as a defenseman, he's just throwing himself on the bus. Like I ain't blocking fucking shots, dude.
That kind of goes back to our talk with Cody, though. Whatever episode that was, because Cody was on the side of don't block the shots, right?
Yeah, he was.
Like you got to with Brock McGinn on the call. Brock McGinn's like you got to block those shots, man.
Got to block those shots. Yeah, dude. You know
it is
blocking those shots.
It is interesting to see, like if you're not good at it, because it is something that does take a talent on some level. If you're not good at blocking the shot, dead in the puck, then it could actually make things worse, you know.
And even Marty was saying, like, you know, he's like, you got to do it. And he, you know, named Weber. I think he had mentioned Ryan Pollock over at Long Island, and just to name a couple. But he's like, yeah, there's some guys who tee up for those bombs, and you got to get in front of it, but damn, you don't want to.
Yeah.
And
you got to do
it
it
hurts.
before you can think about it. Just like,
God. I think it was Marty who had said there was some shot that came from someone and went off Stahl's foot. And it went off Stahl's foot, and he said you could audibly hear Stahl go, "That's a broken toe." So it's just like, damn, dude.
Oh, it's broken.
Yeah,
nice. What a guy.
And one thing that was really cool, you know, towards the end of the call, Tripp was ready to let everybody go. He's like, all right, guys, you know, thanks for your time and all that. And the players were like, well, hold on a second, Tripp. Hold on a second. If we're not mistaken, didn't you and John just get named by The Athletic as the number one broadcasting crew in the league? And gave him – they took the second to give him big props for that.
That's nice.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
Which is really sick. So kind of talking about that, The Athletic recently named John and Tripp both as the number one broadcasting crew in the NHL. Shouts out Sarah Siv on the lobbying aspect of that.
Oh, you know she did. And
you
know Tripp talked to him before the call started. He's like, now listen, boys, we're going to make it look like you guys are bringing it up to me, but you definitely got to bring up the fact that, you know, I just won this award and we got you.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. You know he went
No, he
route.
did.
That's good. That's really good.
Yes.
It just makes sense, right? I don't think we're surprised in the slightest. Anyone who listens to a Canes broadcast, you know that they're super unbiased, very professional, extremely entertaining. They have a great rapport together.
They have a great dynamic. Like they complement each other
incredibly well.
Yeah,
extremely well.
Some broadcast crews they sound well. They sound really good together, if you will, but they don't play off each other. You know, the one guy will say his piece and he has a great flow, a great rhythm, and all that. Next guy will pick up the color commentary side and break a play down, and they're kind of just doing their own thing separately.
They're just doing their job, like no more.
Doing their job.
Almost.
The Bruins is a big example of that to me, where, you know, they're a renowned broadcast crew. Jack Edwards is obviously, you know, hate him or love him. He does his thing, and then I forget the other guy's name. He'll come on and say his two piece. They don't really play off each other very well, but they're definitely well known and well respected in the broadcast community. You know, so it seems anyway. The big shouts out John and Tripp. You know, it's sick. And Tripp had said, you know, when they were giving him props, when the players were giving him props for it, he's like, well, you know, for us, being a part of this team this long, so many of the same faces, and it's just such a good organization to them. It makes their job easy. And that definitely plays a big role. If you have a lot, not the same faces for so long, but if you have the same culture instilled and that same comfortable family aspect that I guess the team sort of brings to them, you know, they can reciprocate it through their broadcast. So it's dope. It's dope for sure.
Absolutely. Shouts out them. Shouts out Forsland making it into the next Chell game. Kick Snoop Dogg out this fucking game. Let's bring Forsland as a second period guest.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. I'm over it.
That's good. Yeah, for sure. Like, so Forsland, if you were commissioner for a day, he's like, well, I'd start every game with some hip hop music. He'd just say the same shit Snoop does. But it'd be better because it'd be Forsland.
Oh, I know him, man. I'm the greater one.
I know Gretzky. He's the great one. I'm the greater one.
Nice.
We all just have Forsland saying all that same shit.
That'd be great, actually. I think that's what they should do. I think they should have Forsland redo Snoop Dogg's lines. Absolutely.
They really should. Who do you guys think will have on the next call?
The next
Canes call. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
thinking it's going to be Dzingel, Mrazek, and who will be the third? Who will be the third? Slavin. Dzingel, Mrazek, Slavin. That's my guess.
That's a really good lineup.
I'm assuming they're going to keep Tripp as the Hurricanes liaison, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Perfect.
Yeah, he did a great job with it this time. I think it only makes sense. Mrazek was definitely going to be one. They talked a lot of shit about him on this last one, so he's got to be on the next one. Dzingle's a really good guess, too. I was going to say both of those guys. I was thinking either Jordo or Svech, just to kind of throw something else out there.
Yeah.
Get the captain or the polarizing young man, Svechnikov, who just turned 20 not that long ago.
Yeah.
Right?
I just assume whenever they bring Svech on, they're going to bring him on with, like, Dougie. You know what I mean?
That actually would make the sense.
Like Svech, Dougie, and Fogel. I just kind of assume that'd be the call they'd set up.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
If it happens,
Mm-hmm. Hey, fuck, maybe the league comes back by then,
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Shit, fingers crossed, boys. Anything else on the Hurricanes, guys?
I think that's, I guess, kind of – did y'all know that Dougie's shot on goal a game streak, he had the longest in the NHL? You know that is over? He was he had like a legitimate chance to break the record for, most games in a row with a shot on goal. But I think it ended when he got hurt, which just sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, yeah.
Yeah. Kind
Shouts
of
out
a
him,
bummer,
man.
dude. Yeah.
Well, fuck. Why'd you have to make it depressing, dude? Everything was cool.
You got to bring it down, dude. We can talk about how Justin Williams probably isn't coming back next year, dude.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Take it, bro. Where are we going to take it, man?
This is rough. Dude.
Cold world.
Anything else on the player polls? I guess if you want real quick, let's kind of look at some of these and maybe name who we'd pick for the Hurricanes to make it out on some of these, right? So I'll kind of go through and I'll ask you guys, most complete player on the Hurricanes. Who are you picking?
The most complete?
That's a tough question.
Aho.
I guess it is, right?
Yeah.
I think it'd be Aho. Aho or Tavo. One of those two.
I was going to say Tavo, man. He's a really good defensive forward. Fucking key.
Super good. Yeah.
Maybe just give it to Aho because he's a center. If you just want to be a dick about it.
Yeah, and his motor's different too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He's got that second. He's got that second gear that he jumps to on a penalty kill, and that puck squirts out. He's got another gear getting to it. But
definitely.
I would say Aho or Tavo probably.
That's for sure.
Or Dougie. But
that's fair, man. That's really fair. Maybe we'll just go right to that. Best defenseman on the team.
I mean, I think it's Dougie, man. I hate to.
You got to pick Dougie. I hate to not pick Slavin. Yeah. Just based on the offensive prowess, he can kind of do it all. He's definitely complimenting Slavin really well defensively.
Definitely.
And he obviously is doing. He had great numbers before he got hurt. But who's the best forward on the team?
Ooh, that's tough. That's real tough. I mean, it'd be Aho, Tavo, or Svech. That's like the three off the top of my head that I'd narrow it down to. And then based on, I'm gonna take Tavo out just because he doesn't shoot enough. So it's down to Aho and Svech. And right now, I'd go Aho. If I had to pick a guy, right now I'd go Aho. I think
he is the most complete. I'm gonna give it to Svech, and I'm gonna do the comparison is that you're like Aho has that second gear. You haven't seen that as much from Svech this year, where he turns that on, but at the same time, he doesn't really need to. He's
got that big man
so
stride.
Good.
Yeah,
he does, and
he's got that big man stride.
He is. He's so calm. He's so poised, and he does gross stuff in tight for his size.
Yeah, excellent edges. Edges.
I see like in a couple of years, once he catches up in age, I think it's going to be a landslide for him. So I'll give it to him now.
Yeah.
Just on what I know he's capable of and what we've seen him do already. I mean, come on, 2 lacrosse goals in one fucking season. Jesus.
Insanity.
It's a wash. Top goalie. Who's the best goalie on the team, Reimer or Mrazek?
David Ayers.
Nadalkovich.
David Ayers, dude.
David Ayers.
David Ayers, dude, for sure. It's a wash, funny. Right? I mean, Reimer and Mrazek, great tandem, for sure. Who do you think's the best trash talker on the team?
I feel like it might be Williams.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel like Williams might have some zingers.
I feel like our team doesn't say shit to anybody.
Mrazek might. Mrazek looks like he's down there talking shit.
No, he's the worst though. He's saying a lot, but he's also saying the worst shit. He's the worst trash talker. Definitely gonna be the worst.
I can see Dzingel. He seems to like to talk.
Yeah.
Spetch likes to talk, low key. Spetch loves to talk, dude.
Dog shit.
Dude, you always see him smirking, saying some, he's saying some slick half English, half Russian shit.
Just throwing mad F-bombs out there,
yeah.
dude. Just like misplaced curse words that don't really fit, but he's saying them.
He's just like, keep up, just like
fuck my mouth.
Basic.
You fuck my mouth. Just like saying ridiculous shit.
He's Russian, so it's just all right.
Yeah.
It just works.
Best female player on the team. No, I'm just kidding. We do have forgive me, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. We do have a development coach who's a female, and she does great work. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head though. Should have had that. Funniest player. I think this might be an easy one.
Marty, I suppose.
You got to. Maybe there's some behind closed doors we don't know about, but definitely on the surface, he's got the most personality, most visible personality.
I think McGinn's probably giving people a lot of shit in the locker room. I didn't watch the Zoom call. I don't know what kind of shit talk he was all about it. I can see
there's definitely some shit talking for sure, dude. Yeah. Okay. Past, present. You pay to watch any Hurricanes player all time. Who are you picking?
Ron Francis. Go Ron Francis.
I'm gonna go Rob Brendamore.
I was going to say either Brendamore or actually Ray Whitney.
Oh, okay. That's a good one, dude.
I used to love to watch Ray Whitney.
Ray Whitney was sick, dude. He's kind of like Tavo. He's kind of like Tavo is now,
Yeah.
That playing the half wall on the power play, great vision. Yeah.
Sick hands, dude. Dirty hands. That's a really good one, Squirrel. I'd pick Rod just because watching him as a coach and knowing he's still capable of banging it out, dude. I miss it. I want to see him do it again,
To see him play now.
Yeah. I'd pay to watch to see him play now.
Go at it.
Fuck the past.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
I'm going to pick Cam Ward. I'm just kidding.
Maybe at a time.
Yeah. And going back to –
one season.
Yeah. 2006.
Yeah.